Sir, are you really living inside this jungle by yourself?
It's my home. I've been here 6 years. Please leave.
I can't leave, Amos, not when I see what's happening. The city wants $2,500. They're calling this house a hazard.
I don't have it. I was just waiting for the end here.
The end isn't today. We're clearing this forest right now.
I've driven past hundreds of overgrown properties, but this one was different. From the street, you couldn't even see the front door. The trees and thick vines had literally swallowed the house whole, weaving themselves into the porch and crawling up the siding like a green monster claiming its prize. We honestly thought nobody lived here. We thought it was just another abandoned shell left to rot by time. I was just about to start the heavy brush cutter when the front door, hidden behind a curtain of oak branches, slowly creaked open. That's when I saw him. Amos stood there in the shadows, his thin frame nearly disappearing into his oversized black polo shirt. He looked like a ghost haunting his own home, his eyes wide with a mixture of fear and exhaustion as he clutched a small, crumpled piece of paper in his trembling hands. When I asked him if he was really living inside this jungle by himself, the look on his face broke my heart. He didn't yell, and he didn't ask for help. He just whispered that he had been there for 60 years and begged me to leave. There is a specific kind of pride that comes with age, a fierce, stubborn independence that makes men like Amos choose to live in a forest of weeds rather than admit they can no longer hold back the world. He told me he used to work for the post office, walking miles every day to deliver letters to families just like his. Now, the only mail he received were these cold, pink notices from the city. He held up the paper in his hand, a $2,500 fine for public nuisance and hazardous vegetation. For a man living on a tiny fixed income, that wasn't just a fine, it was an eviction notice. The city didn't see the 60 years of memories inside those walls. They only saw a fire hazard that needed to be cleared or condemned. As we talked through the wall of leaves, Amos's voice began to crack. He told me he had promised his wife before she passed away 10 years ago that he would never leave this house. It was the only place where he could still feel her presence. In the creak of the floorboards and the way the light hit the kitchen table in the morning, but as his eyesight faded and the arthritis took over his joints, the yard he once kept pristine slowly turned into a fortress he could no longer manage. He was literally being buried alive by nature. He was just waiting for the end to come because he didn't have the money or the strength to fight back anymore. He was terrified that if he let me start my machines, the noise would draw the city's attention, and they would finally come to take the only thing he had left. I looked at the massive brush piles and the trees leaning against his roof, and then I looked at the man who was willing to lose everything just to stay where he felt safe. I told him right then that the end wasn't coming today. I wasn't there as an inspector or a debt collector. I was there because no one should be forgotten behind a wall of weeds. It took hours of back-breaking work, the yellow neon of my shirt